No points in the series. He split only 13.5 minutes tonight, Tony. He averaged 19 during the regular season and 21 minutes over the.
What's up? All right. Let's get the King game on, babies. What we got? 5 minutes left to go in the Rangers Islander game. You guys let me know if the TV is too loud. Three, 2 in the house. Tom Wilson, back pass to Ovechkin, not happening. Let me know if the TV is too loud, guys. I personally don't think it is. But we got a ball game here in Washington. TV is fine? Okay. 4:10 left to go. I'm sure they're delaying the start of the King game till this game is over. We got a game here, boys. I don't know about that. The hard times. I like my favorite song. It's a tie between Sure Knows Something and Charisma. Is it my body or my brain? Do I drive you insane? What is my charisma? Capitals making a late push. All right, now I got 3:18. I could be let me see if this is behind a little bit. No, I'm good. We're going to do a live watch. We'll do at least the first period. And then, if the numbers aren't great, I will just watch the rest of the game myself. I mean, a 3-hour watch of a hockey game might be a bit much for the people who don't like hockey. We got a trip on, I believe, Sandine. 2:42 left. Rasmus Sandine took probably a necessary tripping penalty against the bread man, Panarin. But it's not looking good for the Capitals. We might see another handshake ceremony. Speaking of handshake ceremonies, there was something that happened between the Binghamton Senators and Toronto Marlies today involving a friend of mine. Right now I'm on TNT. Let me check out True TV. Kyle Clifford got into a semi-fight with my buddy Bokanji Imama after the Senators defeated the Marlies. I believe there was an incident at a game between these two teams in January where Boko had speared the Marlies goaltender, and there was some bad blood stemming from that. Not yet. Tom Wilson wanted to fight Matt Rempe the other night, but I'm sure Rempe is on lockdown by the Ranger brass. Hit that like button, guys. We got 12 people in here and 3 likes. Come on, man. We'll do some Predator and Commando talk. I'm at 146 in the third with the power play with 1 minute left to go in the Ranger power play. Wilson with a nice shot there. Wilson's not a horrible player. That's what makes it so infuriating, as he's probably the second best player on the Caps next to the grade 8 Ovechkin, and he's probably, I mean, I gotta say he's the best fighter in the league. I know Ranger fans will say Rempe, but Rempe's lost a few fights, but he'll be tough to beat in the next couple years when he learns some defensive fighting. Because there's that guy in Toronto, not Toronto, Columbus, Didier, who beat him, and Didier is a lot smaller than him. All right, Roslovic just scored. Probert wasn't really dirty. I mean, he cheated because he'd always have the sweater come off. I mean, but back then there was a fine line between what's cheating and what isn't. Yeah, I mean, 1 second. It takes 1 second, guys, to hit the like button. And, I've been told I should explain how you guys can help the stream. There's many ways other than financially. I mean, obviously, super chats and super stickers and gifted memberships are the money, honey. But you can also hit the like button. That's free, or put the link in Discords. I don't do Discords, so I don't even know how to do that. Bokanji Imama, actually, his last year in juniors for who was he with? I forget who he played with in juniors. He scored 41 goals. So he's not really a bad player. No, Liberty, what I was saying is, Rempe, I can't recall a single fight Tom Wilson's lost. And I'm not a Tom Wilson fan, to be honest with you. What I was saying was Rempe has to really learn defensive techniques, because if Didier from Columbus, who's a lot smaller than him, beat him pretty badly, then a guy like McDermott, I mean, there's really no one else other than McDermott who's close to his size. But, Tom Wilson, I think, would maybe beat him, potentially hurt him, because Wilson has great technique. Well, I don't know. There was cheating back in the day. I mean, I'm going to assume, I don't know how old you are, Liberty. I'm 55. So there were guys who, they crossed the line. Basil McRae, the great razzle dazzle McRae, he had Velcro on his sleeves. So when you would grab at his wrist, it would just break apart. Yes, hockey night in West Hollywood. No doubt. And then Rob Ray wouldn't have a fight strap. So like Probert, the shirt would just come off, and then you'd have nothing to grab onto. So congratulations to the New York Rangers. They got a pretty good team. Kind of surprising that they swept the Capitals, but this might be the Rangers' year, man. They're pretty good, stacked team, got good 4 lines. Rempe's a pretty good body checker. And, the goaltending is so you're 45. So you might have checked. So I was born in 68. So you were born in 78. So you probably weren't necessarily following hockey fights in the 80s because you were 7 or 8 years old. But, there was all kinds of, Dave Brown had the tight sleeve. So if you grabbed his left forearm, it was like grabbing skin. There was nothing to grab onto. So, and then who was it? I know Donald Brashear towards his later career in the for the Rangers and Capitals. He had a double fight strap. He had one in the back and a shoelace. Because I only know this because I had those jerseys. I bought his game worn jerseys. He had a shoestring fight lace right around here. So it was a very. If you look at Brashear's jerseys from that time frame, you always saw this part of his neck because his shirts were so tugged tight. But I have to. I do love the. All right, here's Rempe and Wilson. Gonna shake. It was a pretty quick shake hands between Rempe and Wilson. It's interesting to see who's shaking Rempe's hand. Let me tell you, I sat next to Ty Domi on the Ric Flair roast. That guy is fucking solid, man. Like I put my arm around him for a picture, and it was like literally grabbing a brick wall. Yeah, no, that's all good. I mean, I didn't necessarily watch hockey the first. I mean, I watched hockey my first 10 years, but I didn't really appreciate the nuances of fighting. I mean, there were a lot of jersey manipulations, and then in the '90s, when you probably were full bore watching hockey, Marty McSorley would wear like 60 goalie cuts with sleeve inserts. So like a 60 goalie cut is a big shirt anyway because it's got to fit all the goaltending pads, and whatnot. But in addition to putting sleeve inserts, my God. I mean, so if you would grab McSorley's sleeve, it was the same thing, almost like with the Velcro sleeve. Like there was nothing to grab. You were just literally like grabbing fabric, and the other guy could punch through it. Big Earl Dang going up against Gay DeVito. I don't really care who I'm up against. I'm doing my fucking streams. I don't care who's going on right now. I'm not. I mean, I've got 15 people in here. I don't think people are too upset that I'm doing a stream at the same time they are. And if they are, fuck them. All right, the Oilers and Kings are coming up. We'll definitely do the first period, and then we'll see what happens. And if the TV sound is distracting to you, let me know. It's at a pretty low volume. He still is a pimp of wrestling. I don't really. I mean, I don't have a beef with Ray. Suck it, Tom Wilson and Ovechkin. Well, I know for a fact that the Kings were, let's just say, in the hockey parlance, they were kicking the tires on Tom Wilson over the summer. But the Kings have no cap room, which is why they have like two basically budget shoestring goalies in Cam Talbot and big save Dave Rittich and Phoenix Copley, who unfortunately for Phoenix Copley, he tore his ACL, and that was too bad because he was a kind of a feel-good story. But Kings goaltending situation will be interesting next year. I don't know if either Copley, Rittich, or Talbot will be back. I mean, I think Talbot's like 36 and kind of injury prone. Well, I just know the Kings wanted some toughness up front, not fighting toughness, but just like, you'll see tonight. The Kings really lack, other than Andreas Englund on D, number 5, for those of you not familiar with the Kings lineup. They don't really lack a guy who you're scared of. And the Oilers are taking full advantage of that. I believe puck drop was 6:30, but the Capitals game, I think they have contingency plans for if a game goes into overtime, they'll delay it by 15 minutes, which I think is what they did here. So they'll probably jump right into the Kings game. And, we won't see like the national anthem sang. Yeah, Ray and Cardiff are Dabbleverse. I'm not really. I mean, I've said this before. Like, at some point, you got to go on. Like, if I were to sit there and say, okay, Cardiff and Ray are on right now, I'll go on after them, I'd be going on at 10, 11 at night. So, I mean, my numbers are, pretty low anyway. So, like I said, I'm still trying to figure out this streaming business. Yeah, I mean, hopefully, well, we'll do the first period, and then we'll take it from there. Because I know that a hockey live stream is, not exactly gonna get anyone's boners hard. So, Ovechkin, he's pretty close to Gretzky's goal record. He'll be trying for that next year. He might need another year after next year. Yeah, the numbers are low, but there's nothing I can do about that. My good buddy William Zoom thinks that there's a saboteur fucking with my numbers, but from someone I trust, it's pretty hard for people to cost me numbers, and I have no muted words. I have, I think maybe one blocked person. So, they were just a troll. All right, Liberty. Thank you for saying hello, and thank you for leaving a like. Yeah, I know. Oh, I know. Listen, believe me, I know that if I was roasting people and talking shit about people's wives and stuff, that my numbers would be probably 130 to 200 people. I'd probably be getting super chats up the yang yang. But it's just not me, man. You got 30 seconds till puck drop. I got no problem roasting anyone, but if I ever do roast someone, they're going to be in the room with me. That's how I do it. But we'll see what happens. I'm having I'm not going to lie and say I wish there weren't more people in here, but I have fun for the most part with the few people who are in here. And I've only been streaming, I've only been monetized for, I don't know, 3 months. So I wasn't expecting to be rich doing this 3 months in. All right, here we go. A fair amount of Oiler fans at crypto.com. I love this. Yeah, they just did the national anthem, you can tell. I love this rivalry because you can tell the fan bases don't like each other. Now, here's my key to the game. We got big save Dave Rittich in goal. This season at home, he's 7-2-2, GAA of 134, save percentage 948, and 3 shutouts. So he's the real deal. Do I wish we had a bigger name goalie? Yeah, I probably do, but we don't. So, and it's not like Stuart Skinner's killing it in goal. Trust me on that one. Yeah, I mean, that's how I am, Chris Mack. Like, listen, if you don't like hockey and pro wrestling, a little bit of comedy talk, a little bit of, political talk, watch Ray, like, watch Kevin, watch Melton, watch Shuley, watch Steel Toe. I have a game plan for this channel, and that's, to get the wrestling fans in here and music fans in here and all that stuff. And, right now it's not exactly working, but, I'll take it. All right, big hit by Byfield. The Kings got to, all right, here we go. Nice pass. Kopitar back to Byfield. Byfield down the corner. This game's getting rough when Kopitar is playing the body. Now, what the Kings really need is we need Pierre-Luc Dubois to get his ass in gear. I mean, I'm on TNT right now, and I can't fast forward at all. So, all right, a little battle in the corner. Yeah, I mean, Great Lakes Carbon at one point was the largest privately owned company in America. So, all right, we got Grunston, Dubois, and Fiala. I don't mind that line. All right, here comes Fiala. We got Arvidsson breaking out. All right. We got an icing coming down. All right, so, not the greatest start, but we're only a minute 36 into the game. We're just chilling. Yeah, I mean, my friend Jordan the Lion, he had like under 2,000 subscribers for a long time, and now he's got like close to 400,000 subscribers, and like he sent me what he makes in super chats per typical stream, and it's pretty nice. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I'm not doing this to make money. Listen, it'll be nice. When I start, making a few bucks. I mean, it's really just, like William Zoom said it the best. It's just tipping. I'm a bartender, and if you like what I do, you tip. And even if you don't, there's hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications. If you're on Twitter and you see me, Jesus. This game's weird because the San Jose Sharks announcer's announcing the game. All right, here comes Dubois. Sorry, I don't want to be. Yeah, I mean, I don't really like the I mean, I know everyone in the Dabbleverse. It's just not interesting to me to sit there and like J-Man Jack. Just nothing to say. Just $5 super chat. Thank you, J-Man Jack, a frequent super chatter. I appreciate that very much. Like J-Man Jack contributed, but you can hit the like button and all that stuff that I just said. And I guess apparently you can watch my videos and send a super thanks. I'm not sure how that works, but or you can just listen. Views help, and I'm in it for the long haul, so I'm not. Like I said, I have no intention of making my living streaming every day for 5-6 fucking hours like some. And I don't panhandle on here. So, I mean, they tried. The Kings, the last 2 years against the Oilers, they've been bullied by the Oilers. So that probably explains why they kicked tires on Tom Wilson. Grunstrom's in the game tonight. So, he'll provide some nice physical action. And, Dubois can add that element if he is motivated to do so. But sometimes he isn't. Actually, most of the times he's not. Like, even the other night when some guy was roughing Dubois up, he just was like looking. He wasn't even looking at the guy. He was just going like this. Like, get this guy out of my fucking face. Yes, McSorley was the one with the lost stick, unfortunately. All right, we're at 15:46 to go in the first period. It's 0-0. Dave Riddich has made some nice saves already. So, listen, this is like bad news Bears style. The Kings are, but, it's not like the Oilers have a super goalie either. He's either really good or he's average. So I still stand by my assessment that Pierre-Luc Dubois is the key to winning this series. But like right now, he's on the fourth fucking line. Like that's crazy to me. But we'll see what. Whoa, Dano just kind of fishing around the net, almost poked one in there. Philippe Dano. I mean, he's another key. We got to get him going. Although he's more of a defensive-minded specialist. So hit the like button, guys. I will be at Hackamania in Las Vegas, which I believe is 4 weeks from this weekend. And you guys know the discount code for Hackamania is Earl. That's 20% off tickets. And then, I think I'm going to start primarily streaming at night. My numbers do seem to be a little better at night versus the daytime. But weekdays, Kevin dominates the weekday, streams, and in the mornings it's Melton and Shuley and Steel Toe. So, I think nighttime now that Pat Dixon's channel, I don't know if it's permanently struck or if he's permanently on Rumble, but it might be my go-to time, like between 5 and 7. I haven't figured out what time yet, but that's the thing. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'd like to get to that one Sunday night stream where I had like 70 people in here, over 130 likes or something. So, but that was, I think people were excited that I was finally monetized and whatnot. So, I'd like to get back to those levels. And even those levels aren't really going to make me pay my mortgage. But, we'll figure it out. We're the little stream that could. I don't do the guest thing. And, all right, Fiala with a nice steal. I don't stream snipe. And, we're doing it maybe not the most economical way, but I'm okay with that. Well, I look at the analytics. I do like how YouTube does give you the analytics of when your fans are on the most. And for me, Monday through Friday, it's basically 12 to 8, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturdays, it's almost it's a little later, like 3 to 9. And Sundays, I think, are like 4 to 7. But, I also know Sunday nights people in the East Coast in Canada are going to sleep to get to work for Monday. So, I think it was a wrestling pay-per-view. So maybe, I'll do like wrestling pay-per-views. I see some of these live streams, like there's a Pittsburgh Steelers live stream that has like 8 to 10,000 people in it. I would love that. So I'm still trying to figure out. I mean, this is really the stream that's about everything and nothing at the same time. And I do answer questions on the Dabbleverse. I just don't actively seek out the topic for previously stated reasons. One of the funniest people in chat, Peter Chicken Man Brennan, $2. Daddy Man, do you know if Eric Anderson follows NHL? Eric Anderson is the ex-GM of the Comedy Store. I now believe he is a consultant to the mothership in Austin, Texas. I don't believe Eric Anderson is an NHL fan. And being on the topic of NHL fan, I do realize that also having a hockey stream is not going to be tremendously popular. All right, we got my boy Pierre-Luc Dubois out there. Dubois with a nice play, and then he gives it up in the corner. Dubois got to get it together, man. I mean, he's making $8.5 million. Fuck, man. I mean, fourth line center. Is the food? I can't. I don't know if I can answer that. I mean, Joe ordered us all burgers the night I was there, and I liked it. Well, what time is 8 Central for me? Is that 7? Nice fight there. They're showing with England and Kane. So, I mean, I'm still trying to figure out. I mean, this stream tonight started at 7:30 my time, so that's already 10:30 in the East Coast. So, but this is more for hockey than anything else. If this game would have been on at 3 p.m., I would have done a stream at 3 p.m. It's I started looking at streams during football, and I did see that some of these streams were quite popular. My buddy Carl Grunstrom, he's a fan of Earl Skakel's comedy. I don't know. So getting back to the burgers that Joe Rogan bought me and I don't know 5 or 6 of the other comics. I don't know where the food came from, but the burgers were Texas, like barbecue burgers, very good. A little much on the sauce, but yeah, I mean that's what I'm going for, Boulder Johnny. I mean, of course, I do realize certain. Oh, Byfield with a nice opportunity there. I would love it if this just became a hockey companion. So Byfield, Kopitar with a nice shot. I would love to do a sports stream. And, if you guys want to talk about comedy or wrestling, we could shoehorn those topics in. Damn, McDavid's good. He just did a fucking video game move. Dowdy. Oh, Jesus. I don't know if I would have put that in the slot, but I'm a late night guy. I'm a late night comic. I'm up late at night when I'm not doing stand-up. Nice check there by Gavrikov. Kings are, surprisingly enough, carrying the physical play so far. All right. Matt Roy, another Comedy Store. Oh! Big save by Skinner there. No, I don't. Uh-oh. It's not that I wouldn't do Shab's podcast. I mean, I never had a problem with the guy. And I think that we'd probably have a good dialogue. But I don't know a lot about UFC anymore. I don't really watch it. Spurg Snake gifting I don't know if that means if you gifted something. Happy Civilized Sunday from Handshakes and Big Ups. Yeah, I mean, I'm down for any idea. Like, I do enjoy live streaming hockey games, especially King games. So, maybe next year I will. Thank you very much for being a milestone chat member, Spurg. I appreciate it. Maybe next year I'll do live streams of every King game, maybe just the first period. I can't imagine here comes my buddy Carl. Carl's playing good tonight. Dubois with a big hit as well. I mean, Dubois, I'm telling you, man, when he wants to play rough, he's 6'4", 225. Yeah. Kings are like being physical tonight. All right, here comes LaFerriere. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not anti-Dabbleverse. I just don't I don't care to talk about it. But I understand why people are into it. Like look at all the Dabbleverse streams. They all have hundreds of fucking views, hundreds of people in the chat. I've got 16. But you know what? I'll take it. Do I wish it was 160? I absolutely do. But it's all good. We got 8:38 left to go in the first period. We'll just do a live stream of the first period. And then if you guys have any questions or concerns, get them in there. You don't have to talk hockey in here. We are, we can talk comedy, politics, wrestling, sex. We could talk about ex-girlfriends. No, I'm just kidding. I don't like to talk about the exes. You guys would come in real hot if I did that. But I do like that. Well, it's not a stream; it's a podcast. Guys we fucked. That's it. It's popular. We can talk about our first times. We're gonna have to wait till the in-game action is not happening right now. Reddit's just playing good so far. Yeah, I just don't. I'd honestly rather have 16 people in here than talk about steel toe. And I don't. I've talked to Aaron a few times. On Twitter in the early days of me listening to the show, but I'm not going to talk about Aaron. I'm not going to talk about his wife and their problems. I'd rather have 16 people in here. Favorite movie car chase is obviously The French Connection, and this is one that never gets talked about, but the car chase in Cobra, Improbi, $15 Canadian, I believe. All right, game's getting a little feisty here. Big Daddy, in your opinion, list the top list in order of popularity of LA sports franchises of the big four sports. You could throw in the Galaxy too. Well, if you're talking about popularity, it's absolutely the Dodgers, Lakers. I would say the Galaxy. I don't know if the Angels count. They're not really LA, but when the Dodgers are shelling out $750 million to Ohtani and also whatever they shell out to Yamamoto, you're popular because that means they still think they can profit. Lakers are incredibly popular. I would say, let me go Dodgers, Lakers, Galaxy, Clippers, Kings. Like I said, I don't know if the Angels really are in that mix because they're not. I would say, sadly, the Kings are really only in front of the Sparks in terms of popularity. But I will say this: when the Kings, I guess the Rams and Chargers. Yeah, so I'm sorry. Let's redo that. Dodgers, Lakers, Rams, Chargers, Galaxy, Kings, Sparks. I did not know that. By the way, my favorite stunt in a movie was by the great Dar Robinson when I think it still is the record of the largest free fall with no parachute out of the Biltmore Hotel. I believe it was the Biltmore Hotel. And the great, and I really mean that, great unheralded Burt Reynolds movie, Sharky's Machine. I believe he did not have a parachute, so he jumped out of that window with nothing but the big, not pillow, but whatever, the padding thing on the ground. And when you're that high up and the wind, like he very realistic that he might have missed the pad. But favorite car chases, French Connection and Cobra. Trying to think of some other car chases that might have nothing's really coming to mind right now. Here comes my buddy Kempe. He told me I was funny once. It's a good game. The first goal is going to be huge. We got the 6:02 left in the first period. Anderson, Dowdy on the sideboards. I'd be a horrible hockey announcer. This game is just too fast. Over to Dubois. Dubois back. Good. Yeah, I mean, it's Dar Robinson. I mean, I think in another movie, Burt Reynolds was so happy with what he did in Sharky's Machine, he made him the bad guy. All right, there's Dubois with a nice. It's a good game. I mean, it's intense. Kings are playing with fire. Dubois. All right. This is a very good game, man. I'm telling you that right now. Best hockey announcer. I'm a little biased because he's not probably well known to a lot of people because he was in LA, was Bob Miller. But sadly, also, he just died this week at the age of 90. So rest in peace to Bob Cole. So many calls of my childhood between Bob Cole and Bob Miller. Rick Jeanneret. Rick Jeanneret was a little campy for most people's taste. But, this is a great game. All right, we got... all right. We got Fogel coming in. Let's thank the tippers tonight. There's been a fair amount of tipping tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you, J-Man Jack, Peter Chicken Man Brennan, and Proby from Canada, and Spurge Snake. Oh my God. Dry side. Big save, Dave, baby. Sorry, I get a little excited. All right, Oilers with a little pushback right now. You just got to watch out for Draisaitl. He's good. Stroke Race. I would say my top 3 Burt Reynolds movies. I mean, obviously, Smokey and the Bandit, the first one, The Longest Yard, and Sharky's Machine. Sharky's Machine, very, very underrated Burt Reynolds movie because that was kind of in the mid 80s when Burt's celebrity was, he was still a big celebrity, but it was starting to die down a little bit. And, it was so bad it was good as the 1987 movie Heat, which is funny. Ooh, Fiala with a giveaway there. Because sometimes when you see Heat's on, you get all excited. It's the De Niro Pacino one. And then you realize it's the Burt Reynolds and Peter McNichol one. All right. Well, here comes Trevor Lewis. Old man Trevor Lewis. Just, every square inch is being fought for tonight, baby. Please check out Sharky's Machine. I think it was 1980, maybe 1984, 85. And it's got a great cast. If you know, it's a lot of character actors were in it. Earl Holliman plays the corrupt politician. Brian Keith, not David Keith, but Brian Keith. Bernie, what's the black guy's name? Bernie Casey. 100%, absolutely AC/DC on that one. The best shootout, which I believe was kind of a tribute or whatever you want to call it to the North Hollywood shootout. It was kind of somewhat based on that. No, not Jeff Keith. Well, Hooper, I mean, Burt Reynolds is like Stallone. There's so many movies. You're never going to agree on a top 3 Stallone movies. Of course, everyone's going to say Rocky, Rambo, and then, you know, Here Comes Dubois. I got to be quiet with my boy Dubois. That was a nice pass by Dubois. I'm not going to lie to you. PLD, baby. Make that $8.5 million, baby doll. I mean, Cliffhanger's a good Stallone movie. You know, if I were to give my top 3 Stallone movies, I would go the first Rocky, the first Rambo, and Nighthawks, a very under-the-radar movie, because that was kind of in a weird time in Stallone's, you know, he'd had a couple bombs, you know, Rocky was obviously a great movie. Rocky 2, you know, was a hit. And then I think, you know, there was a couple movies he did. You know, Rhinestone was kind of a bomb. I think Lords of Flatbush wasn't exactly, he didn't exactly fucking kill it. So Nighthawks was a very important movie for Stallone, and that didn't do great at the box office. Kind of a cult following with that, but and then he, you know, Rocky 3 was a hit, Rocky 4 was a hit, Cobra was a hit, even Over the Top, which was kind of a bomb. I don't know if I'd say it was a hit, but it did well. Tango and Cash was a hit, Cliffhanger was a hit. I mean, Stopper, My Mom Will Shoot was somewhat of a bomb, but you know, I don't think it was a financial disaster. It's all right, Spurg Snake, and never delete messages. You know, I don't care if you misspell something. We're a friendly stream here. You know, we don't have too many trolls in the street. Yes, the Ontario Reign, you know, basically the baby Kings are against the baby Oilers. So there's some Comedy Store friends of there with Jacob Doty, Akil Thomas, and the equipment staff is, you know, Expendables 4 was horrible. I tried to watch it. I couldn't get through it. It was awful. I really tried to watch it, and it was pretty bad, to be honest with you. I mean, I thought Expendables 1, great movie. Expendables 2, passable. 3, it started getting a little long in the tooth. But I also thought that, you know, there could have been better casting. Like, I like Terry Crews, but that should have gone to Carl Weathers. And, you know, Seagal, would have been fun to see Seagal in it. Jeff Speakman, I think, would have been fun to see in it. Michael Dudikoff. You know, I would have liked to seen some of the people, you know, Al Leong, who's the go-to Asian guy. You know, he was Endo in Lethal Weapon, and he was in Die Hard. You know, he stole the Kit Kat. Yeah, Paradise Alley. Did I say Lords of Flatbush? J-Man Jack. But, you know, Paradise Alley didn't exactly kill it. And, you know, Rhinestone was kind of a bomb. But what year did Rhinestone come out? Was that 1980? I think it was 1980, right? But that was kind of a stinker. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think Stopper, My Mom Will Shoot. I think it did pretty well at the box office, but, you know, Stallone was on such a streak in the mid-'80s that we got 1 minute left to go in the first period. Been a very good game. Listen, the Oilers are playing tough too. And Skinner's playing good. I mean, Stallone's had so many movies. Even what was that movie about the tunnel, Daylights? I mean, that I don't recall that being very well liking that much. I mean, the first Expendables was good. I just thought with each one it got a little long in the tooth, which I think they could have saved by having those guys I just mentioned. Apparently Seagal's a huge dick, so people were like, um, no one wanted him on. But I mean, De Niro and Stallone have probably made an equal amount of shitty movies. But they're offered money. Like a lot of these fucking, uh, you know, movies go straight to video, and um, they're made by that guy Randall Emmett. I mean, look at Liam Neeson. He does the same. Jesus Christ! Fucking, hold on, guys. Let's wait till the period's over. All right, 0-0. Kings outshot the Oilers 11-4. So at the start of the second period, we'll end the stream. I thought Last Blood was a little rough. It's just so fucking unbelievable. And I know it's a movie, it's not a documentary, but it's not really believable that one guy could take on the whole Colombian hit squad. Um, yeah, Assassins and the Specialists weren't awful, but they were just kind of there. Like I don't even remember the characters' names. Like the movie Predator was so good, I can remember everyone's name in the movie. So. Well, I mean, apparently nobody likes Seagal in Hollywood of that genre. But it would have been fun as fans to see like an Expendables with ditch Terry Crews, put Carl Weathers in that spot. Um, like how cool was it to see Arnold Schwarzenegger? Um, yeah, Jingle All the Way was pretty rough. Last Action Hero was pretty rough. Um, but you have so take out some of the like Expendables 4. The only way to save that was to put Carl Weathers, Seagal, Jeff Speakman, Michael Dudikoff, maybe even an old relic like Don the Dragon Wilson. He was in some of those fucking wacky karate movies. Put Bolo Young in. He's probably 80 years old at this point. But you're doing those Expendables movies for the fucking nostalgia aspects of it. So, um, I think that as a fan, I would have, preferred to see that. But, you know, I'm sure Stallone had final say on all casting. And when it was brought up about Seagal, it was like, fuck that guy. I mean, how cool was it, though, to see like Dolph Lundgren back on the big screen, Van Damme back in the big screen, maybe even throw Kurt Russell in there, Snake Plissken. And um, I'm trying to think. Well, I think like Seagal, if you ever watch Executive Decision, speaking of Kurt Russell, there's a lot of plot holes in Executive Decision because Seagal gets killed within like the first 6 minutes. And apparently he was going to have a much more larger part in the movie, but he was such a dick. I think Joel Silver was just like, let's kill him. And they gave most of Seagal's stuff to John Leguizamo. So if you watch Executive Decision, and it's an action movie, so I mean, like, it's not that big of a deal, but you look at John Leguizamo's role, and you're like, why is he's just a member of the SEAL team on the plane? Why is he's got a lot of dialogue for a minor character? Who else could you have put in that? I mean, I'm trying to think what other action stars. Maybe Michael Ironside, Peter Weller. As RoboCop. You could have Peter Weller play the bad guy. And I don't know if Michael Ironside acts anymore, which is crazy because he's in so many good things. But um, I just think that, and I'm trying to think of females. I mean, there's not really too many female action stars, really. So, but Megan Fox, I think, was in Expendables 4. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what I remember was Seagal was like trying to big time Leguizamo, and well, it's funny when you watch Executive Decision, Seagal was good in it. Like him dying that early on made sense. Maybe. I mean, you had Randy Couture in it. He was really not known to be in action movies, so. And then you could have thrown in some wild card choices like Craig Sheffer. He wasn't an action star, but he was quintessential in the 80s. He was always the dick in the teen movies, and, before Cobra Kai took off, you could have had like Thomas Ian Griffith, who was the bad guy in Karate Kid 3. I mean, for what I remember, William, Seagal's part in Executive Decision was supposed to be much larger, but he was pissing off so many people on set that I think Joel Silver was just like, fuck it, kill him. And most of his dialogue went to Leguizamo. It's very similar to, if you watch The Warriors, the not first half, but maybe like the first 30 minutes of the film, they're clearly trying to establish a relationship between Deborah Van Valkenburg and Thomas Waits. He was like the second in command to Michael Beck. The actor with he kind of looked like Epstein from Welcome Back, Kotter. He kind of had the Jew fro, I guess you would call it. But apparently he was arguing with Walter Hill on set, so they just fucking killed him. Like he's the one who gets thrown onto the subway track and the train runs over him. And then because Michael Beck and Deborah Van Valkenburg had great chemistry, and you throw in that Thomas Waits was like just not having a good time for whatever reason, they just killed him. Man, I thought Michael Beck would be a star. I'm still kind of shocked. When you watch The Warriors and you see Michael Beck, you're like, this guy's a star. He's good looking. He can act. Kind of has that soul. Like you could kind of see he had he acted with emotion. So good in The Warriors. And then, we were just talking about a movie that killed Stallone's career, Xanadu, which came out, I believe, the next year after The Warriors. Just fucking crushed Michael Beck. But he still acts. Fox. I loved Craig Sheffer. I've tried to kind of get him. Here's an interesting thing I just found out about the Baseball Furies is one of the Baseball Furies was black, was the actor in all the American Ninja movies and in Delta Force, Steve James. Now, he would have been great in the Expendables, but he passed away kind of like there's not a lot of information on Steve James. Guys, we're going to go for another 5 minutes. So right now we're about to hit the 1 hour mark. We'll go to 1 hour and 5 minutes. So before we end, let's thank the tippers one more time. I always like them to feel welcome. J-Man Jack, Peter Chicken Man Brennan, Spurg Snake, and Improby. Thank you very much. Your generosity is not forgotten. Well, I had heard Howard Stern and someone else wanted to do a remake of The Warriors and Porky's, and I think Babyface, the music producer, this is years ago, wanted to remake one of my favorite cult movies, The Idolmaker. which I could see the Idolmaker working for stand-up comedy, because the Idolmaker basically was the guy with all the talent looked like an accountant. So you couldn't throw him on stage. So he would discover these young, good-looking kids and turn them into pop stars. It's allegedly based on the real-life story of Fabian. I think you can do that in comedy. Like you take a great writer, but he looks like an accountant, so he discovers someone who's like super good looking but not funny, and he makes them a star. It's kind of like in Bon Jovi. Apparently, the Bon Jovi documentary on Hulu is very good. The actual bass player in Bon Jovi was Hugh McDonald, but live it was Alec John Such, and he appeared in all the pictures. So it's very similar Idolmaker vibe, because Alec John Such, he looks like a rock star. Rest in peace, by the way. He just looked like the man, and Hugh McDonald looks like a fucking accountant. All right, we got 4 minutes, kiddies, before I watch the rest of the LA Kings Edmonton Oilers game. Well, he says he quit. Bon Jovi says he got fired. So, it's one of those things. Who knows? It's like the bass player from the Rolling Stones, Daryl, the big black guy. He's been in the Rolling Stones, I think, for like 25 years now, but he's not in any of the pictures. It's just kind of weird. And he's an amazing bass player. Like, he is the real deal. So it's always funny to me how, certain bands will have a studio musician on the album, but live they want the guy who looks like the rocker. Yes, the Hackamania promo code. Let's get all the plugs out of the way for the final 3 minutes of the are you talking about Spurg Steak, the Rolling Stone guy? Yeah, he replaced Bill Wyman, and he's been there ever since. And but if you notice, there's never a picture of Daryl with the Rolling Stones. It's always been just the core members, which I think we are down to Keith Richards, Ron Wood, and Mick Jagger. And I believe the drummer in the Rolling Stones is the black dude from Tom Petty, who took over for my favorite, the great Stan Lynch. Yes, and you can follow me everywhere at Earl Skakel. Thank you very much. If you just want to randomly send me money, you can PayPal me at eskakel@aol.com. Of course, I am on Patreon. I do put up a lot of content. I am going to start putting more up. I put up my longer sets from the Comedy Store there because I got in trouble from the Comedy Store by putting them up on YouTube. They were like, dude, these are great, but it looks like a special. And I'm like, well, what's that? What's the harm in that? I don't, I don't, listen, anyone who's doing Hackamania is not doing that well, myself included. Yeah, but, you'd think, though, that Daryl's been in the band for fucking 25 years, that he could at least be in the pictures. It's like with Kiss, the bass player in Kiss on, really, I believe, from Animalize to Crazy Nights was the great Jean Beauvoir of the Plasmatics. And whatever he didn't do, Bruce Kulick would do. So I really learned a lot dating my lady friend from the band Motorhead. She really opened my eyes. I remember when I'll leave you guys with this story. We almost had 1 minute left. When it hits 1 hour and 5 minutes, my arrow is already on the stream. I remember we went to go see Motorhead play at WrestleMania, and we're walking down to Motorhead's dressing room, and so Motorhead's playing the game, Triple H's theme song, and I think it was Bob Kulick, Bruce Kulick's brother. He's playing guitar in sync with Motorhead under the stage, so nobody could see him. And I remember asking my girlfriend at the time, why is he down here? Why isn't he with the band? He's like, oh, he's just covering in case Phil's off. Because Phil Campbell was known for the love of the booger sugar. Jean Beauvoir played bass for Kiss from basically Animalized Crazy Nights. And Bruce Kulick doubled for. He also played bass as well for Gene. So we got 10 seconds left, guys. Bob Kulick played guitar in Kiss Alive too, yes, except on Rocket Ride. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I love you all. I'm a man of my word. I don't do the someone super chat me and I'll go another 10 minutes. Fuck that.